Hi, I'm Amy Hetherington and welcome to the StudyNT series. This is a series of videos to help international students in the Northern Territory with their employability, their confidence building, and generally feeling a little bit more supported in their search for a career. Thanks for watching. I'm so excited that you're here. This first episode is about building the best resume and identifying your skills to help in the search for a career that you're after. Before we get into it, please make sure that you download the worksheet. Using the worksheet alongside with these videos will help you really think about what you're doing and get the most out of them. Okay, let's get into it. My first question, have you ever sent in a resume and then not had a response? It's okay, happens to a lot of people, because basically at that point it's a piece of paper that's trying to prove all of your skills and all of your personality and all of your experience to someone, and that's a lot of pressure on a piece of paper. But there are some things that you can do to make sure that your resume stands out a little bit more from everybody else. A resume needs to prove 3 things to get you in for a job interview. You need to prove, without a doubt, that you are the best fit for the day-to-day operations of that job description that you're applying for, that you're a good fit for the industry that you're applying for and the future of that company or business, and that you're a good fit with the team and the company culture. You want to make sure that they can see you working in the office alongside the rest of the colleagues. So your personality also has to come through in a resume. I like to think about it as a resume is a key. And the key is to unlock the opportunity to do a job interview. You've just got to make sure that your key is the right one for the lock.
This is an important take-home message. It's okay to promote yourself. Some people are quite humble and don't want to be seen to brag. But friends, when it comes to getting a job, you've got to put yourself out there. A resume is a marketing tool. It needs to show why you are the best person for the role. So give yourself permission to share your skills. Go on, you deserve it.
Okay, so I've got 5 steps for making sure that your resume stands out and does the best at representing you as a great candidate for a job. Before you even start crafting the resume and applying for a job, you need to know what sets you apart from every other person applying for jobs at that time. What are your unique selling points and your strengths? Strengths are the things that you can do better than any other candidate. They're made up of 3 things, yeah? A strength is a mix of your skills or things that you have learned or developed over time or through training. Your loves, the things that you are genuinely passionate about and enjoy and can lose yourself in. And your gifts, the things that come naturally to you, that others might struggle with but you find really easy. Strengths are a mix of skills, loves, and gifts. And if you can identify what those things are, they are your unique selling points and the things that you need to make sure shine in your resume. And everyone has something different here. We are all unique because of the timelines and the histories and the worlds that we live in. So don't think, oh, I'm not actually good at anything. You are, and it's time to spend a bit of time thinking about that. If you check out the worksheet now, there's some activities there about how to identify what those strengths are for your resume. The next step is to look at the job description of what you're applying for and pull it apart. Find out everything that it wants you to prove and everything that it is looking for in a candidate. Because the more that you can dissect that job description, you can make your resume match it with your current skills and experience. If you miss out on doing this step, your resume is probably going to go into a pile that says not the right candidate. Are they looking for somebody with communication skills or a certain type of experience or a certain software skill? Make sure that is reflected in your resume, which is important to remember. Every job you apply for, you need to customize your resume. Don't copy and paste the same resume for every job. You need to customize it to make sure that it is showing that you're the best fit for the job you're applying for.
Keywords are essential. Look through that job description and find the keywords and use them. It proves to the employer that you understand what you've applied for. And if your resume gets put through scanning software, it will get through. Highlight those keywords and put them through your resume.
The next thing to do is to have a brainstorm of all of the achievements or work successes that you've had to find out what examples you want to use in your resume to demonstrate your skills. You need to have examples and statistics and anything that can quantify that difference that you've made. Maybe you improve workplace well-being at your last job. Have you got something that backs that up? Is there some statistic or some sort of information that you can use to really prove that that's something? The meatier and more detailed those examples are, the more likely somebody looking at your resume is going to believe them. So know your examples, know your achievements in those workplaces, and know what it is that you want to celebrate in your resume to make sure that the person reading it sees that you're a good employee. Everyone will say something like has time management on their resume, but can you give it more depth? Is your time management derived or developed from juggling part-time work, university, and all these other commitments? What I'm saying is give it some sort of proof, because anyone can say they've got time management skills, but in your resume, if you can give an example about why or how that's been developed, they don't have to question it. They actually know for sure that you have those time management skills because of your experience. A technique I like to use in my resume is the so what technique. So if I write something, I also ask myself the question, so what? So if I was to say good at communication on my resume, I ask, so what? What is the reason why that is a valuable thing? Can I tie that to the job description I'm applying for? Can I give an example that really validates that claim of mine about my skills? If you ask, so what, after everything you put on your resume, you are much more likely to do a better job at creating a document that shows why you're the perfect match for that job.
Got a couple gaps in your resume? Maybe a few months between jobs? Don't let it knock your confidence. Everyone has gaps in their career, but there are some things that can help. Don't use months in your career history, just the years. It makes the gaps much less noticeable. And make sure there's a reason for those gaps. Be proactive. And don't think of those gaps as an issue, but something that could be celebrated. Did you go traveling during that period or move to Australia? Fantastic. Showcase that and what you learnt. Find an opportunity there.
The next thing you got to do is make sure that you format your resume well. First of all, keep it succinct and simple. You're looking at about 2 pages for a resume. You don't want to go too much more than that. Remember, if there's hundreds of people applying for a job, that's a lot of paperwork for people to go through if they're assessing the candidates. Get to the most important, relevant information first. Anything that makes you a great candidate needs to be at the top of that resume. We call it an inverted pyramid. So the most weighty information is at the top of the pyramid, upside down, and then you work your way down to the least important. Start with your best foot forward. It's like that first impression, you need to make that real good. Make sure there's no spelling or grammar issues. Make sure that the typeface is clear and easy to read, and a good font size as well. You want it to be easy to read and to flow and to look neat, clean, concise, and simple. And again, customize it for every job that you're going for. Don't use the same resume for every job. Customize it. Spend 10 minutes making sure that the first things on that page are relevant for that job that you're going for. For me, the most important part of a resume is your career summary or your career story section at the beginning. It's your first impression. It's where a lot of resume assessors will skim at the beginning to get a sense of which pile your resume belongs in. The will look further into, maybe potentially, or definitely no. So the first part of your resume needs to get past that first assessment, right? So you need to make a great impression in that career summary section. To make that great impression, you need to make sure that those strengths that we talked about earlier are up the top and clear for anyone reading that resume to see. What I'd be doing here is I'd be thinking about maybe the top 3 reasons why I'm a great candidate for that job. Spelling it out for the assessor so they know exactly why they should be bringing you in for a job interview. Look at those unique selling points, those really core reasons why you're a great candidate for that job. And even give it a bit of context, As an international student in Darwin, you have a unique selling point already, that you've chosen to come to Darwin for your study and to be a part of this community. Sell that. Darwin people love hearing about how people want to be a part of our community and are willing to do the extra work to be a part of this. Put that in that resume. You have a story to share in that, and I think that's a really great thing. International students, don't sell yourself short. You've got so many great things and you're giving stuff back to Darwin. Say that in the resume. If you check out the worksheet now, there's a really great activity about putting that career summary section together. Spend some time on it. I really think it's the most important part of a resume. And then that next step is you've got to make sure that you humanize your resume. Make it have some personality and give it a sense of where you're at and why you're applying for the job. And the best space to do that is in a cover letter. A cover letter is basically an attachment to your resume that gives the story of your application and who you are. You might give some context into why you're applying for that job, what it is about the company that you're excited about working for, and some examples of the research you've done to know why you're a good candidate. And a well-written cover letter can even be one of the reasons why you come in for a job interview. So check out the worksheet. There's a template there for cover letters, but my main tip here is to make sure that you let a bit of your personality come through. Because remember, when you're applying for a job, it's to see if you're a good fit with your skills and strengths and your experience, if you're a good fit with the industry and the company that you're applying for, and if you're a good fit with that team. So your personality needs to be demonstrated in a resume. Okay, mates, that's it for this episode. I hope you found some of this useful and that the worksheet is something that you can continue to use to make sure that your resume is the best that it can be. There's some templates in there as well, which I strongly encourage you to check out. One thing to take home is that you need to be easy on yourself. If you don't get a call back on your resume, don't take it to heart, There's a lot of other people going for that job and it's just not the right fit for you. Your resume is a tool to show who you are. Spend some time really working on it, yeah? You can't just type up something really simple and send it in and hope that that's going to work. A good resume is an amazing key to open a bunch of different doors. So give yourself permission to spend time on it. Thanks for watching this StudyNT series video. We'll be back with another one next time. But otherwise, if you need any information or are requiring any support as an international student in the Territory, head to the StudyNT website. My name's Amy Hetherington. Catch you next time.